Hello and welcome back. GovDoc News, no opinions, just facts and summaries of government documents. You take it from there. We are back with the president's fact sheet from October 28th, 2025. The president announcing billions in investments from Japan. All right, so on October 28th, 2025, in Tokyo, the US and Japan signed several agreements. These build on a larger promise that Japan made back in July of 2025 to invest $500 billion in the US over time. The goal? Help American factories, energy products, and supply lines grow stronger and more reliable while creating jobs and boosting trade. It's all about making sure the US has what it needs, like parts for cars, phones, power plants, etc., without depending too much on faraway sources that could run short. This is not a one-time cash handout from Japan. It's a framework, like a blueprint, where Japanese companies commit to specific projects in the US. The US gets most of the profits from this deal, up to 90%, and in return, Japan gets easier access to American markets with a set 15% tariff on their imports. So no new laws were passed here. These are executive agreements, meaning that the president can sign them without Congress voting right away, though some parts might need review later from Congress. So basically, we're boosting U.S. factories and exports. Think of this as Japan saying, we'll help build and buy American stuff to keep your economy humming by signing a framework agreement outlining billions in investments from Japanese firms into U.S. projects. And here is what it looks like. So we'll break these down section by section. Critical energy infrastructure, power plants, and grids. This is about making sure the U.S. has reliable electricity from nuclear, gas, and other sources, key for homes, factories, and tech. So Japan, up to $332 billion in total, including building advanced nuclear reactors like AP1000 models and smaller ones called SMRs, I believe small modular reactors, with companies like Westinghouse, GE Vernova, and Hitachi. Also, it will cover big power setups from Entra One Energy, plus engineering for plants, substations, and transmission lines with Bechtel, Kiewit, and SoftBank. Also, Kinder Morgan will handle natural gas pipes and power services. Up to $25 billion for big equipment like gas and steam turbines and generators to stabilize the electric grid, partnering with GE Vernova. Up to $25 billion for electrical modules, transformers, and substation gear with Toshiba, up to $20 billion for cooling systems like chillers and air handlers needed to keep power setups running smoothly via the company Carrier. AI infrastructure for data centers and tech. AI needs massive power and wiring, so this funds the behind-the-scenes hardware. $30 billion with Mitsubishi Electric for power systems and equipment for data centers, up to $25 billion with TDK for advanced electronic parts and power modules, up to $20 billion with Fujikura for optical fiber cables, basically the wires that move data very quickly. All right, electronics and supply chain. These are the tiny but essential parts that go into gadgets and machines. Up to $15 billion with Murata Manufacturing for things like ceramic capacitors, inductors, and filters that block electrical noise. Up to $15 billion with Panasonic for energy storage with batteries and other electronic devices. Critical minerals, building factories for the essentials. Critical minerals are rare earths and metals used in batteries, chips, and fertilizers, like we've already talked about. Stuff that is hard to get and vital for tech and farming, actually. So $3 billion to build a facility in the U.S. for making ammonia and urea, which are fertilizers that help grow food. $2 billion for copper smelting and refining plant in the western U.S. Copper here used in wires and electronics. Manufacturing and logistics, ports and specialized factories. Kind of interesting here. This upgrades shipping and makes niche products. $600 million to improve southern U.S. ports and waterways for exporting American crude oil. $500 million for a factory making high-pressure diamond grit, basically super hard material that's used for cutting tools. $350 million for a plant producing lithium iron phosphate, a type of battery material for electric vehicles and storage. On the export side, Japan is opening doors wider for U.S. goods. Toyota will ship U.S.-made cars to Japan and let American auto workers use its sales network there. Japan is also agreeing to sell U.S.-certified vehicles without any extra safety tests. Japan's new Mobile Software Competition Act will treat U.S. companies fairly, protect user safety, and respect U.S. copyrights. The two countries also signed a memorandum of cooperation to grow shipbuilding in both countries by sharing money, buying parts, training workers, and just generally sharing technology. making supply chains tougher and safer. Both countries signed a critical minerals agreement to spread out sources for these vital materials beyond just one country. As we've mentioned before, China has a chokehold on the global rare earth critical minerals market. It builds on similar U.S. deals with other nations that we have been discussing. Both sides will review investments for security risks and create rules to spot problems early. Japan will also work with the U.S. and G7 countries on new sanctions against shadow fleets, which are basically secret ships that are dodging tax rules, often for oil or minerals, to save money. All right, growing U.S. energy sales and security. Japan is buying more American fuel to power its own needs, which helps U.S. producers. Tokyo Gas and JERA signed deals with Glenfarne for liquefied natural gas from a proposed Alaska pipeline, and Japanese buys now cover over 10% of that project's output. JERA is putting $1.5 billion into the Louisiana Haynesville shale area, with that area totaling now over $6 billion in U.S. energy investments. Global Coal Sales Group inked a multi-year deal worth over $100 million with Tohoku Electric Power for U.S. coal. Japan is also inviting U.S. companies to bid fairly on helping dismantle old nuclear plants there with clear rules for everyone. Beefing up defense and fighting drugs. Beyond money, the two countries are teaming up on safety, basically. Japan pledging to ramp up its military to deter threats in the Pacific region, supporting the U.S.-Japan alliance. The U.S. sped up deliveries of air-to-air missiles for Japan's F-35 jets to boost joint defense. For drugs, they'll share intelligence, profile risks, and update their customs mutual assistance agreement to crack down on illegal smuggling across borders. Leading in tech and science. This is about staying ahead in the future, like AI, space, and medicine. Both countries signed a memorandum of cooperation for the U.S.-Japan Technology Prosperity Deal to speed up AI research for science, businesses, and daily life, create friendly rules for AI growth, and boost AI exports. Other team-ups: protecting research from spies, developing 6G networks, securing drug and biotech supplies, quantum tech, fusion energy, and space exploration. They agree, both countries, that cloud tech is great for secure data storage and cyber defense. A new working group will share know-how on standards, especially U.S. tips for building safe, independent cloud infrastructure. All right, all the documents linked below. There are multiple of them. You got a critical minerals deal, memorandum of cooperation, and the general technology prosperity deal. So if you want to dig into it, feel free. Check those links out below. All right, Kaimo, keep your mind open, do your own research, form your own opinion. See you next time.